En la parte de arriba está Odion, @cc, abajo está Mid. Ahora en Dion solamente setea 3 cartas. Vamos a ver cómo le responde a Gaia. Gaia activa, bueno, no, antes se resuelve ballista, le va a destruir el campo. Por cuestión de cadenas no se alcanza a resolver el efecto del campo de Gaia. ¿Cómo se llama esta? Espejo del dragón. Va a desterrar para poder invocar otra fusión. Agujero trampa de vacío. Cuando invocas un monstruo de modo especial con 2000 de ataque lo puedes destruir. Muy bien, no hace nada el adversario. Se destruye una carta. Vamos a ver cuál le destruyó. Tenía 2 ballistas. Y tenía un agujero trampa de vacío. Y pues ya se fue zombie. Infierno de trampas. Se traía perdón. Se traía Gozuki. Dice, bueno, ya saben lo que es esta carta. Puedes mandar un monstruo de tipo zombie del deck al cementerio. ¿Sí, no? Sí, así es. Vamos a ver qué tiene en el cementerio. No, ¿saben qué? No, todavía no se mueren. Ya le destruyó una. Es el audio. Listo, victoria para MA, quién sabe qué. Lo... Y con ese invoca al escarabajo, ¿no? ¿O qué hace? No, va a ganar Thunder Dragon. No creo que gane Tirámides. O quién sabe. Todo puede pasar. No, va a ganar Tirámides. Sí, ya se lo echó. Número 70, Estrella la Araña. No, ya perdió. Un Kuribo, nada. No, pero esta no. Ganó Tirámides, no mames. Dice Tirámides antimeta, sí, sí. Exactamente. Tenías toda la razón, amiguito. Ganó Tirámides. ¿Este quién es? ¿Esta Dashi? Vamos a esperar a que salga la otra porque no ha salido. Vamos a ver si en Twitch ya están. A ver la transmisión. Ah, mira ese Echo. ¿Qué onda, Echo? ¿Cómo andas, Car?
But his hand was kind of forced because he needed to use it or he was just going to lose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oye, viejo, ¿me podrías decir qué tal está el audio? Si le tengo que bajar o subir o...
Oh, and he's going to upgrade it to digital bug Korabaj, I guess, because we see him detach 2 Ixies materials and perform a new Ixies summon on top of it.
Yeah.
Yep, that's what he's going for. And now he can use Korbaj's effect to detect an Ixies material and just shuffle a defense position monster into the deck.
Great play by Ma, using those tools that he has at his disposal.
Right. That's a card that's gained a lot of popularity recently. Digital Bug Korbaj.
It's a great card. I think even in the TCG it was used as well.
Yeah, I do remember it being used in the TCG. I don't remember exactly in what context. But
yeah, but it seems Ma is going to be able to get the winning attack in here due to Mint's previous
ganó,
having
no
to spend a lot of
mató
life points to even up the game. We're going to get a game 3.
Si este de gana o queda aunque sea segundas, creo que Konami lo va a pasar a matar.
That mystical space typhoon, if he could have kept that fusion gate on the field, that would have been a totally combo of cybernetic fusion support and fusion gate is phenomenal.
Pues ya se ven un poquito más aliviados los presentadores. Hace rato no sé qué problema tenía Konami, que no podía transmitir los duelos. No, ya no saben ni de qué hablar los comentaristas. Dice, mira cómo me acomoda la mano el deck. Robo del destino por 2. No. Esa habilidad es igual que la de resonadores y te apuesto lo que quieras que te iba a tener una habilidad exactamente igual. Creo que a Konami ya se le está acabando, no sé, la imaginación.
As we were talking about, it's all in-house support. You know, the theme has got everything you need for Cyber Dragons.
Dice, ya regresé y siguen estos dos.
You know,
ya se ven los duelos, okay.
To just 1 or 2 cards, and Cyber Dragon unfortunately did the same. But you know, we might not see the end of these Cyber Dragons. You know, that's quite a scary prospect, having to face up against them.
Right, and I know a lot of players called their demise when Cyber Style was changed so that the monster is summoned to put an attack. But the deck did persist past that. It still remained competitive, and
Dice una habilidad como arma sexual. Vamos a leer bien. Dice una habilidad como arma sexual para Crystal Beast. Porfa, como Nate. Pues de hecho creo que sí tenía una parecida, pero no la usaba, no la usaban las bestias de cristal. La usaba. ¿Quién la usaba? No me acuerdo quién la usaba. Thunder Dragon. No sé quién usaba esa habilidad, pero habilidad que sacan, la utilizan otros decks. Aunque sí debería de poner la condición como se la puso a los Gagaga de que pues sea un Gagaga para que puedas tener robo del destino. Porque sí, bestias de cristal sí me gusta mucho el deck. Y pues no se me hace buena onda que pues no verlo en el juego, nada más está ahí muerto, ahí tirado, nadie lo usa. No.
And there's not much that's going to stop Gagaga's sister from using her effect right now. However, we are going to see this interesting interaction that we were talking about earlier. That the Harpy Lady deck, when it's going second, has got that huge advantage of being able to use the hunting grounds.
Right, Harpies are so much better going second, especially when they have the hunting ground skill. Harpy's hunting ground skill that starts with Harpy's hunting ground in play, because now he'll be able to deal with any back rows that Vino sets.
Oh.
And if he has no back rows, even better for Harpies. Oh.
However,
the Gaga couple to take down the hunting ground.
Yeah, so that to me, tell me if I'm wrong, but that to me is really Vino saying, well, look, I've got some set cards which are going to make a big difference to your turn right now. I don't want to see this hunting ground. Let's just get rid of it right from the get-go.
100%. This basically guarantees Vino will be setting at least one card in his back row.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
Photon Strike Bouncer is not bad here either against Harpies because it can shut down the channeler.
Yeah.
And that will make it difficult for King Zero to summon Cyber Slash Harpy Lady.
Yeah.
Well, again, Egotist is a solution to that, but
yeah, that's a good start.
But now you have the new problem. Photon Strike Bouncer can negate Cyber Slash Harpy Lady's effect, and without a hunting ground on the field, it's not strong enough to destroy it in battle. So.
Yeah, that was about. I mean, from Vino there, that was a fantastic play to summon that Strike Bouncer instead of, the M7, which we've been seeing over and over again.
Right, and the combination of summoning that and destroying the hunting ground will make that Photon Strike Bouncer hard to overcome, since it can negate any monster effect that activates on the field, including Cyber Slash Harpy Lady.
Yeah.
Que dice es que Konami le tenía miedo a Malvestias y por eso tiraron equilibrio, por ejemplo.
Because he can't destroy the Strike Bouncer without an attack boost.
Yeah, so now we turn our eyes to Ginjiro's face down card, because this is going to be the difference in the battle to come. That's going to go through.
Battle succeeds.
Yeah. Ooh, we do see Party though.
Wow, Hysteric Party's very good.
Field. This is interesting. So although, however strong Photon Strike Bouncer is, if Ginjiro is able to put enough monsters on the field that even Photon Strike Bouncer can't negate everything, then he's going to be able to possibly overcome Vino's field.
Right, and Photon Strike Bouncer is a once per turn effect, so he actually does use its effect in the end phase when those monsters are summoned, since you can only use it once on the following turn anyway.
Yeah.
And Cyber Slash Harpy Lady.
Yeah, that's Hysteric Sign as well, adding all of those Harpy Ladies. I mean, right now Vino is got basically two cards on the field and one in his hand, but Ginjiro is he's got so many cards he can play right now. He's got a full
turned
field.
around.
Yeah,
This turned around
absolute
very
turnaround.
quickly with Hysteric Party.
I hope you're ready. I special summon a monster.
This is I'm just kind of speechless. This is an amazing turnaround.
My monsters of
Vino looked like he had a great setup with that Photon Strike Bouncer.
I know. Check out my second
Yeah,
card.
but its ability to only get one effect per turn was problematic for a card that summons 3 monsters to the field at once. Also,
Oh.
Nest, Chain to the Book of Moon. I think this duel's over.
Summon a monster.
Yeah. There's certainly going to be a party, and it's on Ginjiro's side.
Hunting ground. My
Yeah, and that Harpy's Hunting Ground's going to take away that final set card for Vino.
set card.
It's bad aim. It's not a bad card, but it's
Yeah.
not good enough.
Yeah, unfortunately. So many!
Looks like Hero's going to synchro summon another Cyber Slash Harpy Lady.
Yeah,
I assume he can summon another
The field
Harpy to
spell
the field to end the
hunting
duel, since I
ground.
think his other 2 monsters had enough attack points to win anyway
My hand. I activate
before he
a
synchro
spell.
summoned.
Okay.
So
he
he,
has the
Summon
rest.
a monster in attack position.
he hadn't normal summoned yet, so here comes Harpy
Yeah.
Oracle.
all
Now,
of
even-
this without the normal summon.
Yeah, so even if the card in Vino's hand is something like a Sphere Karibo,
How will you
he
fare
loses
against
this
me?
duel.
Elegant
Oh
egotist.
man, he just keeps adding monsters.
Move in, Harpy lady.
He wants to make it so even Kiteroid won't help.
Yeah, wow.
Ready for battle? Show 'em your power.
Kiteroid would keep him alive, but I think there's pretty much no chance we're going to see that here.
No, I don't think so, and I think we're going to see the Cyber Slash Harpy Lady take the final hit here.
Points directly.
Wow, amazing. That turned around so quickly because of
Yeah.
Hysteric Party. And I see a lot of the Harpy decks I see, they don't even play Hysteric Party.
Yeah, so Ginjiro really showing us that he knows this deck inside out.
That was a fabulous
Yeah, I mean, and that's one of those, card choices in a deck that a player may agonize over.
Yeah.
That makes all the difference.
Absolutely.
Don't know how many copies of Hysteric Party he plays, but, he activated 1 copy and it won him the game.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It could just be a one-off tech card, but he's, those dreams or nightmares, whatever you want to think that we're keeping him up right now. He's got to be, loving the Hysteric Party. That was really cool.
Partying it up.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, that was an endless flurry of Harpy Ladies going to the field there. He summoned maybe, 4 times before he'd even normal summoned. That's how many Harpy Ladies he was able to use. It's absolutely
Yeah, that was
amazing.
incredible, and it was just such a great solution to
Yeah.
the Photon Strike Bouncer. Now we're going to see Vino playing as Yami Yuki against Sartorius. And here
Ooh,
we see
interesting.
Sartorius.
I expect nothing less of the best strategies. You dare oppose destiny. Big mistake. I shall extinguish your light. Do. I know what destiny has in store.
Yamiyuki being a little bit more, bit friendly on the old introduction there. Sartorius, little bit more on the evil side.
So Ginjiro's using the Light Barrier skill, so he starts with Light Barrier on the field, and it looks like he's playing Tri-Mids because he immediately replaces it with Cruiser. The Tri-Mid decks usually start with a skill that starts with a field spell, just to get an extra field spell into the graveyard, which synergizes with other cards in the deck. So
Yeah, they have a trap card that does quite a lot with those field spells, if I recall.
Yeah, Tri-Mid
correctly.
Pulse is very powerful, and I believe Tri-Mid Sphinx also gains attack points for each field spell in the graveyard with a different name, so that's also important.
So here we see
My monster's effect activates.
So we're going to see
Melody.
Thunder Dragons. Very likely he's using the Destiny draw skill.
Yeah.
So he uses
All right. I tribute summon a monster.
Hawk to summon Roar, and then Tribute summon
My monster's effect activates.
Cry for
Force Tops.
I special summon a monster.
I guess Private Dex don't summon 3 times in one turn often, so or ever. So that was, I guess, his best use for the card.
Yeah.
And now he can use the Roar's effect to summon another Thunder Dragon from his deck, and now he can perform a rank 6 if he wants to do that.
I activate.
Yeah, we are going to see the power of the Pyramids here. They just play during your turn, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Right, being able to swap your field spell card for a different one when they have so many different effects is so powerful. But we're going to see Vino
Ooh.
summon Exabeetle, and I assume instantly, he's going to use this effect to equip the Hawk, and now he's going to use the Exabeetle's effect. So he's not upgrading it to Rhinoceros, which is what we usually see.
Yeah,
You cannot change.
so yeah, he was.
I activate a field spell. I shall
Yeah, he's looking to use this Exabeetle,
summon a monster.
not necessarily in the usual way, but to make something of this matchup. But Tanjiro gets the Sphinx out, and the Sphinx, that you can see right now, it's on 4,500 defense points. It's quite a lot.
500 attack points for as long as for every field spell in the graveyard with a different name, and Triamids can easily get 4 of them there.
Yeah, that's a lot of attack points. However, we do see Levianir for Vino. And he's going to perform another Exceed Summon into Gaia. Still, I'm kind of wondering to myself, where is Vino getting this 4,500 attack monster from? Because right now he doesn't have any spells and traps.
Yeah, it's tough.
I summon a monster and attack this.
Yeah, honestly, there's not a lot of solutions for Vino here. As someone who plays Thunder Dragons a lot, Primates can be tough to beat.
Yeah.
I think Levianir is often the solution to a lot of problems. But I don't know if it's going to help him here when there are field spells that can prevent his Triamids from being destroyed. So he would have to time it right. I don't know what tech cards are in Vino's deck. If he's playing, Cosmic Cyclone to facilitate his Destiny draw,
Yeah.
that would be useful.
Creo que me voy a armar
Maybe
pirámides.
bait out a specific field spell that doesn't protect against destruction, then use Lightning Vortex. He could have turned it around. But this is a tough matchup, and he did suffer the consequence of that, unfortunately.
Yeah. Wow. What a game. I mean, we've seen so many decks already, but Pyramids really pulled it out there. I mean, I'm terrified of the Pyramid Sphinx. I'm going to be honest. It's a
It's a
huge
tough
monster.
deck to play against because it can play field spells from the deck during the opponent's turn. So you're not just playing against what you see on the field. You're also playing against the cards in their deck that they can just put on the field, with a quick effect on a moment's notice. So
Yeah.
it's a tough deck to beat for many decks.
Yeah, exactly. And I think there's a lot to be said about the kind of testing behavior. But for me, the thing that for Pyramids, I even playing against it 100 times, I could never figure out how I would play my deck better against it. The only way was to actually play the deck itself and figure out where those weak points were for Pyramid, and there's not that many with the right setups.
Yeah, it's really hard, especially if you're not using specific tech cards to try to beat it.
Yeah.
Because it does have so much protection. It does have so much versatility. It can just move cards around so quickly and efficiently, and then the Triamid Sphinx just gets so many attack points that if you can't handle it, it'll finish you.
It just hits. I feel like it hits you when you're down because you've got to spend a bunch of resources to actually get to the point of controlling what the Pyramid deck is doing, and then they're able to just pop the Sphinx out and say, "Oh, what about this as well?" It's like it feels it's a surprise you always know is coming, and it still feels like a surprise when
That's
when
the
you
perfect
see
way to describe it.
yeah, when you see those attack points, you're a bit like, how do I get rid of this thing? Sometimes, you know, you really have to rely on those trap cards to be able to get rid of cards like Chairman Sphinx, but even then, it's protected by, by a bunch of different things in the Chairman deck. So
Yeah, it is tough to beat, especially for players less experienced playing against it, because if you don't have a lot of experience playing against the deck, you're going to play right into the field spells in the deck that they're able to just pop onto the field with the quick effect of the Triad Bin monsters.
yeah,
That is a huge problem.
I do think that it's a tough one if you're not experienced, and even the most experienced players that we're witnessing now, I feel like that was a tough matchup.
Yeah,
Pyramid
that is a tough matchup for Thunder Dragons, and I say that based on experience.
Yeah, it's very difficult, especially when, as we were talking about, the kind of the flexibility of Thunder Dragons comes from Levianeer. That's a lot of the kind of flexibility you get in terms of effects and disrupting your opponent's cards. Otherwise, it's a lot of kind of big bodies and relying on the Exceed summoning.
Right, and Levianeer is almost the solution to everything. So
Yeah.
when you play against a deck that's not the solution to, sometimes you run into problems.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But we could have seen some tech cards. Who knows? But yeah, it's awesome that we've seen so many decks already. What have any of them particularly caught your eye, do you think?
We didn't see it perform well, but I was very excited to see a Cyber Dragon deck. Just it being an old favorite, and it being a deck that I was not expecting to see.
Yeah.
Because it really just hasn't been relevant on the competitive scene recently, even though it has such incredible combos that can just take the win so quickly. So that was definitely a surprising one, and I was very happy to see it.
Yeah, for me too. I think, I feel like he got that was very unlucky, the Mystical Space Typhoon in that instance. And as we were, we were both, as soon as we saw the Fusion Gate go down and the Cybernetic support, we were both just like, whoa, this could be crazy,
Right.
And,
And
that player's not necessarily out yet. We might see yet another kind of surprise attack from these Cyber Dragons.
sure, and he had a pretty weak start also, going first. He wasn't able to summon
Yeah.
Core on his first turn, and wasn't able to set up a Cybernetic Overflow. So, the deck has its vulnerabilities, and, he fell into them.
Yeah.
It was awesome to see. Awesome to see him bringing that to this level of competition.
Yeah, absolutely. It's super interesting. So I think at the moment we are just waiting for the next duel to come up. We've got so we do have another one lined up. I think we are just waiting for the players to be ready. This round is going to really kind of cut the field in these duelists, because not everyone can stick around for the finals. That's going to be the case, and we do have the next match, and it's a very interesting one. In fact, we've got Bell for Carrot here.
Let's rev it up.
Zarugu playing Mr. 5Ds himself, Yusei Fudo.
I share them with you.
Duel.
Here I go. It's
I'm a big
my
fan of
turn.
Bell.
From my hand, I activate a
It's
spell.
the U-Bell deck is likely Thunder Dragons using Allured by Darkness.
Monster's effect activates.
Yeah,
Play your
It's a toss-up whether to use that skill
eyes.
or Yamayugi's Destiny Draw, because arguably Allure of Darkness is more powerful than any card you could pull from your deck
yeah,
in many circumstances, and you do have to lose 200 fewer life points to activate the effect, so it's a little easier to use. I like Allured by Darkness.
Watch
A lot of players like Destiny Draw. Both are certainly defensible for Thunder Dragons. So, not a great start for Thunder Dragons with no rank 6 on the field.
That is a bit difficult. Zarugu here. Ooh. Playing Mayakashis.
Yeah, start with Mayakashi Return.
I activate my monster's effect.
That is actually a pretty good start. So the thing with the Mayakashis is, once you're able to get, I'm going to butcher the name, but Yuki Masume, once you're able to get that into the graveyard and summon that, yeah, great, he has a nine-tailed fox as well. Once you're able to get that setup going, you can get some real synchro action on the field. It does seem he's missing that extra Mayakashi monster. And this is going to let Carrot be able to kind of proceed with this rank 6 as we were talking about just a moment ago. He's going to go into M7.
Oh,
great play.
Yeah, I'll use
That's
this
a great
effect
play.
to turn the Spectral Sword Shiranui to the hand so that it can't be used to synchro summon special summon a synchro monster on the following turn.
Yeah, that was a fantastic play. Really heads up from Kara there, paying attention to Tsurugu's strategies.
So Thunder Dragon Hawk's effect, special summons Thunder Dragon Roar, and he summons in attack position, and it looks like he's just going to press the dabbage.
Not bad. How's this for an answer?
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah,
My monster's effect.
Nine-tailed fox
I know what to do.
does have an effect.
I special summon a monster. I know what to do. I special summon a monster.
He is going to be able to save some of his life points with those tokens.
There's still hope for me. I flip over
Oh.
my face down card. I activate my trap card.
He does have a trap set as well. He's got the Mayakashi Metamorphosis.
Special summon a monster.
And he was able to once again discard the Spectral Sword, it seems.
My turn. I draw.
So that M7, although great play from Carrot, not necessarily going to work out here. And he does
may
have the
fallen a little
Solitaire.
short of the end goal.
Yeah, wow, this field
Special
is
summon a monster.
very good. Very, very good.
Graceful Mayakashi.
Synchro summon a
He's got
monster.
all of the pieces that you would need to start summoning up into these Mayakashis.
I activate my monster.
Start with the
three
wheels.
Mayakashi.
Okay.
Here we start to
Special
see
summon a
the
monster.
big thing that Mayakashis can do. So Daki is going to keep coming back every single time that Zarugu summons from his extra deck another Mayakashi. And he's just going to keep leveling those up and up and up.
I activate my monster's effect.
Here's the level 5, and then we're going to see
I
Mayakashi
special
return
summon a
to the
monster.
field.
And Daki once again coming back.
Need your help. I synchro summon a monster.
Each time this is happening, the Mayakashi continuous spell is gaining even more traction to reduce the opponent's attack points.
Tengu, the
I
winged
activate
Mayakashi.
my monster's effect. I need
Yeah,
your
so we're
help.
up to 7 at this point.
I special summon a monster.
And in fact, that nine-tailed fox token is going to be
I synchro
really
summon a
useful
monster.
towards the end here, because you do get the Daki back on the level 9. So the level 9 is as high as we're going to get for the Mayakashi leveling ups. But Yoko,
Activate my monster's
being that
effect.
level 9, has got
I know
quite
what to do.
the strong
I
attack
special
points.
summon a monster.
But first we're going to see if Zarugu is playing something that he's able to summon with this, with Daki.
Oh, so
Okay, instead he's just going to use the nine-tailed fox and tribute those two monsters off to summon the nine-tailed fox.
I know what to do. I special summon a monster.
Yeah, he is able to get Yuki Musume
From my hand,
from the
I
deck.
activate a continuous.
Oh, another one.
A duelist's job
Another
is to get
Mayakashi
life
Winter.
to their cards.
Oh,
Oh,
tie that binds.
I didn't wonder where the skill was going to come in.
Let's
Ooh,
take this.
that is some big damage that's going to come in here for Zarugu. Those Mayakashi Winters are reducing those attack points of his opponent's monsters. Just little by little for each of the Mayakashis in his graveyard.
My monster's effect activates. Watch.
You see the Dragon Roar
Dragon
effect.
Dark's effect will activate. Take the Thunder Dragon Dark.
My monster's effect activates. Lay your eyes on this.
Oh, and then summon Cry Fortress Tops.
Summon a
Yeah.
monster.
That is one of the downsides of the Mayakashi deck. You special summon
There were-
quite a lot.
There were certainly more than 3 monsters summoned that turn.
Yeah, quite a few. Yeah, we see the Dragon Dark effect from the hand in the end phase just to thin out that deck a little bit.
You're such an annoyance. My turn.
Is that the same one that
Jubal.
returned his hand in the end phase?
Yubel is not happy at all.
So here's the Allured by Darkness skill. The minimum, he has Thunder Dragon Dark in his field, so that'll let him search for any Thunder Dragon if he banishes it with the Allure of Darkness.
Monster's effect
For those who don't know, the Allured by Darkness skill can only be activated if you've lost 1,800 or more life points, and it lets you add Allure of Darkness from outside of your deck to your hand instead of drawing a card for the turn. And it is currently the only way to use Allure of Darkness in Duel Links, so it is... Now, it's a powerful card that you can only get with the skill.
Yeah, and for good reason. Allure of Darkness is a very powerful card.
Watch. I special summon a monster.
Let's see what Carrot's going to use here, because, yeah, we're going to have to see quite a few things and to try and get rid of those Mayakashi Winters, because even though Carrot can summon a lot of monsters here, the key is going to be getting rid of those Winters, because, you know, the attack power reduction that they're currently putting on. Whoa!
Oh, Tribute Summon Caius the Shadow Monarch.
What a
Interesting
throwback.
tech card and
Yeah,
huge here.
absolutely.
Wow.
Summon a monster.
Just banishes Yoko. Nothing.
Yeah, wow, that's amazing. So that's one less issue, and I was going to carry on talking about those Winters, but the downside to that attack reduction is if your opponent doesn't have any monsters, then it's gonna help. Oh, okay. So Carrot is not able to get rid of that second Winter, so that means that get rid of both of those Winters, which means that the Nine-Tailed Fox is still the biggest monster on the field during Carrot's turn.
Right, and he does summon Force Focus, so Carrot is able to negate the effect of a level 5 or higher monster during either player's turn, and that can be important.
But the thing with the Mayakashi deck is, at this point, yeah, so the Spectral Sword is going to be a big play here. The key is that most of the extra deck has been used now by Zarugu, sorry, and so he's not got much to do left in this in the extra deck. However, it's just enough. He's got just enough for the Shiran Yui monsters, but he doesn't really need any more Mayakashis. They have served their purpose. So Mayakashi Winter is now a huge attack reduction. Oh,
Mayakashi deck runs through monsters from the extra deck so quickly, and so does Shiranui.
exactly. So it's
Really do.
it's a risky strategy, because if your opponent's able to deal with those quite quickly, then yeah, it's becomes quite interesting.
The Force Focus is going to negate Shogun Saga's effect, so that could be crucial and could keep him in the duel.
Wow, okay. He did have another Mayakashi return, and he's got another Darky. Oh, the 7th card coming from the extra deck for Zarugu here. Looks like it's going to be the boss himself. going to be the Shiranui Sun Saga.
I activate my monsters effect.
Now, he's a big guy.
This is payback. I
Oh.
reveal my face down card. My trap activates.
But Carrot has been saving the Thunder Dragon trap card all this time.
I special summon a monster.
100 Thunders is pretty good.
Now is the moment.
Yeah, Sun Saga, however.
Yeah,
It's,
not against that, but it's a pretty good card.
Yeah. Sun Saga is able to send back any banished Shiranui monsters to the extra deck, any extra deck monsters, and then destroy cards equal to that number. On top of that huge body that is the 3500, as well as ties that bind. And this 9-tailed fox is going to be able to attack straight over that.
More pain.
Right, the 100 Thunders did bring back the Roar, though, so he was able to use Roar's effect to special summon a monster from the deck, but unless that's a sphere, which it is a sphere creepo. So he is still in the duel. But he's in big trouble because I don't even think Chaos Dragon Levianeer is going to help him here.
Annoyance.
Yeah, I mean, still that Mayakashi Winter is going to, you know, I feel like we're just at the right kind of attack points here because all of the Thunder Dragons are around that 2,400, 300 mark. And that is the perfect thing for Mayakashi Winter to be able to take them under. And yeah, we see the final attack here coming in. And Zaruga is able to win with his amazing strategy. Wow.
Yeah,
Mayakashis.
Yeah, that's another deck you really don't see a lot of. You see Shiranui a lot more, but you don't often see the two decks mixed. Shiranui,
Yeah.
Mayakashi, even though they have a lot of natural synergy.
Yeah.
But he certainly made them look good there, and he was able to take down Thunder Dragons.
Yeah, I must say I did play Mayakashi in Duel Links for quite some time, and the synergy with Shiranui is huge. Just that able to completely fill up your graveyard filled with Mayakashis, and then just a spectral sword, and that ability to just that tiny little engine that you have from the Shiranuis just laddering up to that Sun Saga. Wow.
Yeah. It was an impressive win, and it's an impressive deck, too, because, it's not one that a lot of people are paying attention to.
Yeah. And we got a new game coming up. We have Zeta versus Soratun, and another new legendary duelist that we haven't seen yet.
Axel.
See my flame deck in action.
Yeah, that's not a common one.
Duel Gazer, let's roll.
Looks like Zeta is using Human Astral, so it's probably an Automat deck.
I set a clock. I set a
Yep, that is those are the decks that we've been seeing from Yuma.
My turn. I draw. Watch what we can do together.
Our strengths combined.
Yeah, we do see the onomata play come out straight away from
So
Zeta.
he can trade one of the cards in his hand. Gets Dodo Dwarf Go 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 Glove.
I activate the spell card, do draw. I send a do
Makes
And
sense.
he's got
Wants to
Dodo
discard
Draw
it.
as well.
Come on in. Zubaba Bancho Gaga Coat. Zubaba Bancho Gaga Coat's effect activates.
You sure you want to do that?
Oh, uses
Oh.
effect to try to summon the Dodo Gloves, but he's going to lose out to Ultimate Providence.
No way.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot like Divine Wrath. It's a little harder to use, but also could be more versatile because it can negate more cards overall.
Yeah, and
Stop the Zubaba Bancho Gaga coat in its tracks. Destroyed it. Stop the effect.
we're seeing now the follow-up.
End of the turn.
And the follow-up here from Soratun that, usually the cost of Ultimate Providence is having that correct card and having to discard it. However, we see the Volcanic Shell, which essentially makes it a kind of free effect.
Yeah, that's awesome. And now he's going to use Fire Reload. So as long as all the monsters in his hand are fire, he gets to shuffle his hand into his deck and redraw the same number. So he traded his 2 cards for 2 more.
Yeah, this is super interesting. So we've still not seen exactly what Soratun is planning on using for, his kind of offensive strategy, but right now his defensive strategy is looking pretty good with this Ultimate Providence. And again, we see the Divine Wrath.
Wow. I mean, I guess it makes sense for him to play these cards in a deck with Volcanic Shell, since Volcanic Shell can keep retrieving more shells from the deck as long as it's in the graveyard. So
Absolutely.
the discard cost is highly mitigated.
Yeah. And I think he discarded a Volcanic Shell again.
Yeah, I think you're right.
That was essentially a free Divine Wrath again. You know, I say free, but you know, just a mere cost of 500 life points for what could turn the tides in a duel. That's nothing. That's cheap.
So some of Shiranui's
Whoa!
Squire. So I guess it's a Shiranui deck.
Yeah, so we see the kind of, we've seen a lot of the defensive strategy from Sorotun now, but now this offensive strategy. Shiranui's Squire is huge.
Yeah, so he special summons Spectral Sword from the deck with its effect, loses out to Book of Moon, so he can't perform a Synchro Summon.
Yeah.
Similar decks in the past that have used Volcanic Shell, a lot of them used Alistair the Invoker and tried to win with Invoke Purger Trio.
Yeah.
I was sort of expecting that, but it looks like he's opting for the Shiranui strategy to go along with it. I mean, it allows that fire reload skill to be live quite a lot. Right, and that skill is awesome with Volcanic Shell.
Yeah. I mean, Squire itself, I was actually really interested as to whether Zeta was going to use the Book of Moon on Squire or whether he was going to use it on Spectral Sword. He did choose to use it on the Squire.
I mean, that saved him some life points, and
Yeah.
either one would have prevented the Synchro Summon. So Samurai Skull
wow.
is summoned.
I'm loving this deck. This deck is so cool.
I synchro summon a monster.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. It's a zombie deck with a fire engine in it.
Yeah.
And because of that fire engine, or maybe even just volcanic shells, I'm not quite sure.
But it's able to
an
kind of
additional fire
mitigate that
engine,
cost,
sure,
right?
sure.
Of those really expensive trap cards that usually a Shiranui deck might not be able to necessarily maintain. But with the volcanic shell, absolutely, he's able to maintain those cards in his hand.
Check out my set card. I activate.
That being said, so Zeta right now, I think he's looking to kind of normalize this duel. By that I mean, you know, he's wanting to get rid of a lot of Sorotun's face down cards because it's become clear that Sorotun is really relying on these powerful trap cards.
Right.
Once again, we see.
Zeta's going to summon Zubelva Bancho Gaga Coat and try to use this effect. He'll lose out to Forbidding Chalice. Oh, but Forbidden Lance will make his Zubelva Bancho Gaga Coat unaffected by Forbidden Chalice. So its effect will not be negated.
Has he got enough hands to hold the lance, the chalice? He's got so many things right now.
So you topic
Mira, se negó el efecto con la misma. Eso no me la sabía.
Do Dwarf Go 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 Glove. Yuma says it better than I ever could.
It does look like Zeta has been able to do just what I said. He's kind of cleaned out Sorotun's trap cards, and now he's able to continue with his onomata play.
Number 70 Malevolent Sin, and it looks like he's going into Digital Blood Corbage, which we saw earlier. A card that has been seeing an increased amount of play in competitive duels.
Yeah, I think especially with Book of Moon, it's particularly potent.
That is the correct move. Stay
Oh, Astral approves.
Don't worry about me. Let's settle.
It's always good when Astral agrees with your play.
Yeah, exactly. Heading into the battle phase.
So this Samurai Skull's destroyed in battle. That's exactly what you want.
Yeah, something I was waiting till the end phase to allude to, but Sorotun still has that spectral sword in the graveyard. So,
and he wasted no time using it.
Yes. And he banished the Solitaire.
Okay, so he summons an Arcane Zombie Skull, so now none of his zombies can be destroyed by card effects.
Yeah.
I special summon a monster.
Yeah, and I'm wondering whether he's gonna go straight up into the level 8 synchro, possibly Shogun Saga. Let's wait and see. Yep, for sure, it's the Shogun Saga. We're going to see this very cool combo. Shogun Saga is able to banish a Shiranui monster and then take away, gain attack points equal to its attack points.
Yes, so he uses its...
At this moment,
Check out my set card.
That attack would end the duel if it weren't stopped.
Yeah,
It
and
looks
it
like
is
the
stopped
Fate
by
Town card is
Book
Book
of
of
Moon.
Moon.
Activate my
Yeah.
monster's effect.
That was a close call.
I get my turn.
Here goes. My turn.
Oh, Corvage's effect activates. He gets to attach an insect to it as an Ixies material, and now he gets to attack the Ixies material on his own turn
Here comes
to return the defense position monster to the deck.
Wow.
So that was awesome.
I activate my monster's effect.
stay focused, Yuma.
Don't worry about me. Let's battle.
End this
Stay
duel,
focused, Yuma.
Sure thing. Get set to get decked. Take this direct attack.
And we do see Zeta been able to end the duel here with that Utopia. Wow, what a turn of events!
Wow, yeah, that was a cool combo. Good synergy between Book of Moon
Really know someone by dueling.
and the Digital Blood Corbage because he was able to get that extra Ixies material on to use the effect again by changing the battle position of a monster on the field. So that was really cool. Yeah, it certainly didn't look like he was ahead for most of that duel. It looked like Divine Wrath and Ultimate Providence were kind of gonna keep the Automat player from actually amassing a field. But that's the strength of the Automat deck. As long as it gets another turn, it keeps summoning and it keeps setting up Ixie summons, and you could stop it from Ixie summoning every turn. But if you can't close out the duel, it'll do the same thing next turn. And the Automat play skill allows it to do that so consistently.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what we saw there. He wasn't able to close out the duel with the Shiranui deck, and Automats took the win.
Yeah, it was very close though. That Shogun Saga could have been make or break. The Book of Moon ended up kind of breaking that whole combo. But yeah, I mean, we can only highlight, as we were talking earlier, about this Onomat play deck. It seems very strong. Even when, two of its most important effects got negated, Ultimate Providence, Divine Wrath, still it was able to endure such a beating from those trap cards and still proceed to win.
And don't forget Forbidding Chalice too. Luckily for him,
Forbidding Chalice as well,
So there were a lot of answers to it, but the deck can just keep pressing on, just one more at a time. So that's what we saw there. That's part of its strength, and it's strong in this tournament as well because it works well with the deck building rules. Because of the fact that the cards in the deck are often used by that deck, with the exception of cards like Book of Moon and other deck cards, but the limited cards in particular are specific for that deck.
That's quite interesting, don't you think? That Zeta, although using what is widely considered as one of the strongest decks in the format right now, the Onomata play deck, he's enhancing that strategy with some of these generic, very strong cards, Book of Moon, and choosing not to put that in some of his other decks for the tournament.
Yeah, that is interesting, and it makes you wonder what his, maybe he doesn't want those cards in those other decks.
Yeah.
Maybe he chose to play other decks that really don't utilize Book of Moon quite as well because they need more cards to kind of get going, cards that are in their theme. So that Book of Moon is best used in the Onomat deck, making that as strong as he can.
Yeah, I mean, we saw the combo with Corbage. That was crazy.
Yeah, that was awesome.
that volcanic strategy with Axel Brody. Do you think this is going to be a recurring theme? Are we going to have quite a lot of these Shiranui decks?
I think it might be. Onomats are regarded as one of the top decks, but Shiranuis are often perceived to have a strong matchup against them. Or really trap-heavy decks are often perceived to have a strong matchup against them. So it would not surprise me.
So, we're with us, the same players, Zeta versus Soratone.
Stand in my way.
So let's
And we
see
see
what...
another new legendary duelist.
If you are a true duelist, I
Oh,
expect
yeah, so
nothing less
Soratone
than
is using
best
Odeon.
strategies.
Zeta's using Yami-Yugi. Let's see what Zeta is playing.
My turn. My monster's effect
So he's playing Thunder Dragons, which is a deck that usually does not use Book of Moon. You can tech a copy if you really want to, or more than one, but the deck is so focused on the Thunder Dragons, there's not a lot of space. So,
Yeah.
like I was saying before,
My turn.
Oh,
that's really...
short first turn.
That was a very weak first turn. He uses Dragon Dark to just get another Dragon Dark, then Dragon Roar to just add the Dark to his hand.
Oh, amazing! I'm so excited. It's the Spiritual Beast. I love Spiritual Beasts.
Yeah, so Spiritual Beast Cannahawk is starting out. It's unfortunate for Soratone, though, because that was an incredibly weak start for Zeta. If Soratone had been using a faster deck, like, Harpies or Autobot, that duel might have actually just been over here.
Yeah, but even though, the right cards with the Ritual Beast could have been,
I special summon a monster.
could have got him there, but still.
Time to battle. Here we go.
And of course, we don't know if Zeta also had cards like Sphere Creep in his hand, but...
Yeah.
So Thunder Dragon Hawk's effect is used in the hand to summon Dragon Roar back to the field, which is, I guess, why he wanted it in his graveyard last turn, or at least one reason why. And even though it attacks, Canada puts it face down. So this is tough for Soratone. I mean, tough for Zeta. But now the tough decision for Soratone, if it comes to it, is going to be whether he wants to bring Zeta below 2,000 life points.
Yeah.
He has the opportunity, but can't finish him off. Because giving him Destiny Draw might break him right out of this duel.
Yeah.
So, Cannahawk attacks the Dragon Roar, its effect will activate.
Yeah. It does seem like Soratone is right now, especially with Odeon, makes me think that he's going with the more kind of defensive, trap-heavy version of the Spiritual Beasts, where you're just looking to summon the Petal Fin as a big defensive option. He's not really going for that attacking, offensive Spiritual Beast combination.
Yeah,
And
it definitely looks that way.
at the moment, I mean, the play is going so quickly, but I wish I could talk more quickly, but Zeta is really going to have to try and finish it off this turn, otherwise Soratone is going to get his Spiritual Beast Tamer that's going to just enable all of these plays with the giant Petal Fin.
Oh, Chaos Dragon Levianeer is awesome here. Soratone can't negate the effect of it. Oh, he has Breakthrough Skill to negate its effect. If he couldn't, he'd have to chain whatever he wanted to chain, and then, because Levianeer doesn't target, Zeta would have destroyed 2 of the cards that weren't used.
Yeah.
But Breakthrough Skill is just awesome here.
Yeah, absolutely. That was curious that he didn't decide to get his Canadia back from the graveyard. Oh, he does have the ambush.
My trap activates. Come out. I special summon a
Must say, it never feels good getting ambushed. Cannahawk and the Spiritual Beast Tamer, the strongest of the Spiritual Beasts. We see Winder. Oh, this is tough. Soratone is really where he wants to be right now. It's interesting that he chose to summon the one that he was about to add to his hand. I would have thought that he could have got the one that was a turn away, the Winder that was a turn away, so he could add the Winder to his hand, but maybe he wanted to keep it banished. So the Cannahawks.
Yeah. Yeah, the Banish Zone is a resource for this deck.
Yeah.
As
Absolutely.
we're seeing right now.
Yeah, so maybe he's going to summon the one that's going to get added once again, so that he doesn't add it to his hand. Maybe he doesn't want to keep it in his banish zone even longer.
My monster's effect activates.
Yeah, once again, Canahawk. The longer Canahawk is on the field, the more and more it does. It thins out the deck and gets what you need to your hands. Along with the ultimate Canahawk does even more of the same, adding the cards you need to your hand.
A new horror awaits you.
I know a lot of people who play spiritual beasts, and they really love playing the deck.
I love playing.
Yeah, everyone who plays it, they always love playing the deck. This is not my type of deck. I have not played spiritual beasts.
I think it's like
Played
Marmite.
against spiritual beasts many times.
I think spiritual beasts are a bit like Marmite. You either love them or you don't love them.
Well, the people who play them, they love them.
Exactly.
That's been my experience, and that was
Yeah.
true for the Yu-Gi-Oh! Trading card game as well. It
Yeah.
was a very powerful deck for a long time.
Yeah.
I set my card face down. I set my
It's
Let's
as soon as you get what I would call set up in the ritual beast deck, there's not a lot that can stop you. Because you just gain so much advantage through all of the Canahawks and the ultra Canahawks, and just at any point you can push that button which says I feel like I'm in danger, and just go and get that petal fin from the extra deck, and that's hard to overcome a 2800 defense monster.
I special summon a monster.
Sure.
I'm counting on you. I special summon a monster. My monster's effect activates.
That is one key factor though that we can see right now. Sarton, the spiritual beasts don't really do much to your opponent. You are really relying on these trap cards to interact with your opponent, and we do see it here with a floodgate.
Yeah, Floodgate Grapple can be annoying for Thunder Dragon decks because it disrupts potential Xyz summons.
I tribute
But
Yeah,
it's
that's-
not hard to get the monster off the field with a tribute summon, as we're seeing here.
Yeah, not ideal. It's not really what you want to be doing, but it's a good way to get your field opened back up.
That's a mistake. My monster's effect activates.
So Ulti Canahawk will split apart once more.
I special summon a
Yeah,
monster.
and for sure gonna get that spiritual beast winder,
A new horror
spiritual
awaits
beast
you.
tamer winder. Sorry.
I special summon a monster. Here we
Yeah,
go.
and the second one.
My monster attacks.
At this point, this is exactly what we were talking about with the ulti petal fin.
My monster's effect activates. Come forth.
So we'll see what
I special
what
summon a
Sorton decides to
monster.
get here. Probably something. Yeah, so he's gonna go straight for the ulti petal fin.
My monster attacks. My turn is done.
Successfully destroys the other window, gets to avoid its effect.
Yeah.
Thanks to Levianeer's 3,000 attack points.
I summon a monster in attack position.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I say wow as if it's kind of a surprise, but Sorton has gone through so much of his deck at this point. He's drawing cards that he wants. That's what we're seeing. And we do see the Apelio, the cute lion, allows you to banish one of your
I special summon a
yeah,
monster.
allows you to banish one of your spiritual beasts to increase the attack and defense points of your ritual beasts by 300 for this turn,
I shall take
which allows the ulti Apelio
monster attacks
to get up to some dizzying heights of attack points, and ulti Apelio stops your opponent from using effects when it attacks as well.
Yeah, it becomes unaffected by all effects, so it actually weakens
Sorry,
itself
yes.
as well. So it lost its 500 attack points, but it was still enough to destroy the Dragon Roar. So it destroyed the Dragon Roar. But Dragon Roar's effects special summon another Dragon Roar, and Zeta was able to return to his hand in the end phase. So, there is a resilience to this Thunder Dragon deck where it almost creates its own inevitability. Because it keeps cycling through the Thunder Dragons, and eventually the Levianeers keep coming down, as we see here.
Yeah, so it's a
Oh,
matter
but
of
it looks like looks like he only had 3 darks. He couldn't banish a light to destroy cards, so he had to return a card from the hand to the deck.
I exceed summon
Yeah.
a monster.
Oh wow, big Exceed Summon here.
Is it going to be a Hieratic Dragon or a zombie?
Yeah, we do see
Monster's effect
the
activates.
Overlord of Heliopolis.
Behold,
Oh my goodness. Breakthrough skill again.
my trap.
This was an awesome addition. It's in the new Volume 3 mini box. But it's a very powerful card.
Activates. Now's the time.
That's so good. I can't believe Breakthrough Skill twice.
Yeah. And, Breakthrough Skill has a lot of awesome application that we don't see in matchups like this because it can negate Steel Swarm Rogue for decks that are just completely shut down by it, and it can negate Photon Strike Bouncer for decks that need to activate monster effects on the field, even from banishing it from your graveyard during your own turn. So,
Yeah. That double usage of Breakthrough Skill is always amazingly worth it.
many decks
And once
is
again,
effective against.
With a monster.
so we are going to see once again this, we're going to see something quite cool here. So this is what Sarton's going to want to be doing quite regularly to keep his monsters
Monster attacks.
alive here, is using that Apelio's effect to increase the defense points of Ulti Petalfin over 3,000.
Come out. I special summon a monster.
Once again, we see the Canahawk.
I special summon a monster. My
And we
turn
see
is
Lara this time.
Prepare yourself. My turn. Draw. Come out. I special summon a monster.
Yeah, this is the thing. So Sarton's going to be able to just get this ulti Apelio out repeatedly to be able to take out any of those kind of low attack point monsters on Zeta's side. He's got to be really careful because eventually it's going to get to the point where he's not got enough life points to take another one of these small attacks. Or small amounts of damage, should I say.
My monster's effect activates.
Right. Both of these players are really going through their deck pretty quickly.
Now,
Yeah,
my monster's effect activates.
this is such an even matchup.
My trap activates.
Oh, breakthrough skill in his turn.
That
Yeah,
ends my
brilliant
turn.
play.
I will not lose. My
Maybe
turn.
we see that breakthrough skill being
Cards.
so worth it.
I draw.
Yeah, however,
Okay.
you were alluding to this earlier, the Destiny draw.
Activates.
It's tough. When your opponent has Destiny Draw, it's tough to get them down to under 2,000 life points and let them take any card from their deck. But is this a third breakthrough skill?
Michael, it is a third breakthrough skill.
I am yet to see a deck with 3 breakthrough skills in it, so this is the first.
Wow.
Oh man, but he negated the Heliopolis' effect as he needed to, and now Levineer is coming down. Oh, but Fiendish Chain negates its effect.
Zoroark
Now he
is
has-
not a fan of monster effects.
He has 2 level 8s on the field now, so he can get the Levianeer off if he has another rank 8 in his extra deck.
Yeah, I mean, is that?
I'm not sure he does.
Yeah, I don't think you usually have that many because you don't think you're going to be in this kind of situation.
Yeah, some of them play Zombiestein,
Yeah.
but maybe not.
Something to note here, though, is Zoroark is only getting Lara back, I think. Is that Lara? Yeah, so he's not going to be able to proceed to get the ulti Petalfin once more. However, this being said, that face down Zoroark is holding here looks a lot like an ambush.
It is indeed ambushed once more.
So yeah, he's once again going to get both of the Spiritual Beast Winders, I think. Either that or the Apelio, yeah. Which is probably going to banish what he needs from the graveyard. Oh, this is grindy. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Yeah, Apelio's effect still in the end phase to put even more of his spiritual beasts where they need to be.
To banish his own.
Yeah, Zoroark right now, he's only drawing what he wants to draw because all of his other stuff is already in the graveyard.
Now he needs to ask himself, how am I going to close out this duel?
Yeah, he is staring down three huge monsters on Zeta's side. However, that being said, is Zeta really in the position to be able to attack? His field's full right now, so he's not going to be able to get much going unless he does have that zombie stein. And getting over the ulti-petal fin is going to be quite difficult if he's able to use the Apelio to boost its defense, but we'll see if he's able to do that.
See, he could bring the Thunder Dragon Duo up to 3100 by activating a monster effect in the turn, if he can do in his hand, if he can do that.
Yeah. Oh, Zeta just passes. It does seem that Zeta actually has more cards in his deck than Swordsman does.
Oh, the Thunder Dragon Duo gets to send one back to his deck in every end phase.
Yeah.
So he needs to deal with that duo.
Yeah, so right now it's kind of a temporary stopgap solution of these breakthrough skills, the multiple breakthrough skills that Swordsman has been playing, but that's not going to last for very long.
Wall of Disruption is activated on the
No
attack.
mames, yo me hubiera rendido ahí.
Oh man.
That's gonna
all of Zeta's monsters are going to lose 2,400 attack points. Oh, he's using Temperance to avoid the battle damage so he doesn't lose the duel on his own attack.
Wow.
Oh, no mames, qué asco. Ojalá se muere ese güey.
Attacking into that ulti pedal fin, but now Zeta's got to think to himself, how am I going to deal with the ulti Apelio next turn?
This match is wild.
It really is. Wall of disruption.
I did not see that coming, and I don't think a lot of people at home did either.
I was considering, what's Swordsman gonna do here, but that wall of disruption really took me by surprise.
That broke the field wide open. Now the duel's over.
Yeah.
The monsters on Zeta's field are so weak, Ulti Apelio is just going to attack over one of them.
Yeah.
And that's going to be game.
Yeah, and Ulti Apelio, he's styling at this point. Ulti Apelio is for sure going to be enough.
I mean, we did see Temperance.
Yeah.
If he wants to. If he's
so
worried about that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
So switching the window or summoning another monster is going to be enough because they're going to be huge from the effective ulti of Apelio. Yeah, he can have a lot of temperances right now.
Any one of those attacks connects, it's over. Wow.
Wow. What a game!
Swordsman takes the win after using all 3 breakthrough skills.
Yeah, Yugi couldn't have said it better. That was a fantastic duel.
Yeah,
wow.
Very impressive. And it was also impressive he was able to use the graveyard effect of breakthrough skill to stop the Dragon Duo, which could have had a big impact because it cut him off from cards he could have otherwise recycled.
Yeah.
That was awesome. Duel.
Yeah, I think you nailed it with wild. That was a wild duel. You did not know where that was gonna go.
I didn't know how that field was going to break open. I did not expect that it was going to break open as a result of Zeta attacking into Wall of Disruption. So
Yeah.
all his monsters became so weak that they could be attacked over to end the duel.
Yeah. From Zeta's side, that's what you would do, though, right? You're going to wall up with the biggest attack monsters, the strongest forces you have, but then for them to be hit by Wall of Disruption, it just all comes crumbling down.
Yeah, and I think you have to attack there because I don't think you're reading Wall of Disruption. I don't think you're seeing that card coming.
No, I mean, I'm thinking to myself,
people aren't using. You catch people in traps as a result of it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, of all of the legendary duelists to use with traps, Odeon is the one. And yeah, he absolutely took Zeta by surprise. I mean, I'm kind of racking my brains as to what other reads you could have on that face down card, but I think like 9 times out of 10 you attack there. That is just the play. You especially, I mean, knowing Spiritual Beast, the way to really get through that, you know, that mud patch, through all of that grinding that you have to do to get rid of their resources, is to gun for that ulti petal fin, and just make them lose out on all of those ulti petal fins. Yeah, what a wild game. And we got another one coming up for you already, so let's head on over to the game.
Let's see it.
So, we have Nakasaka versus IB Instant Barreto. And we see for the first time a mirror match in the legendary duelists.
Yeah, Human Astral, so very likely they're both Onomot decks. This might be the first true mirror match.
That was interesting. Astral said, "I sense our opponent is no ordinary foe." That's always a bit fun when you're playing a mirror match.
Topic Onomotopia.
Sister, time to play. Gaga Sister has another effect. I'll play this. I exceed summon a monster.
So we'll use his effect to special summon the sister, and now he will make a rank 6. We'll go with M7 here, it looks like.
I activate my monster's effect.
Seems very common for the Onomat to play deck, especially going first. Just to put that M7 out and then recover your Gaga sister, ready for next turn.
Yeah, I mean, Photon Strike Bouncer was another option there, but I guess he deemed the guaranteed Gaga sister in his hand as superior to being able to shut down the effect of an opponent's monster like Gaga. So
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, M7's I guess just the safe play because you immediately recover one card. So if they use Book of Moon or whatever they may have to deal with your monster, you got something out of it.
Yeah, exactly. That's
Strike Bouncer.
Yeah, and that's the key with Exceed monsters, that you're spending 2 monsters to make 1. Of course, most of the strong Exceed decks are going to be getting those extra monsters out for free, but still you want to make sure that you're getting that advantage back for spending
So as
the
soon
2
as
monsters.
Gaga Bolt is added to the hand, we see Canada put down the Gaga sister so that there's no longer a Gaga monster on the field and he can't use the Bolt. So once again, we see a Book of Moon type effect really shift the tempo of the duel and stop a play in its tracks.
We see Nakasaka with the breakthrough skill. I'm loving the MVP card right now. Seems to be this breakthrough skill.
It looks like it. We are definitely seeing a lot of breakthrough skill. So he uses M7 to return the face-down Gaga sister to the hand. So he looks fairly committed to winning this turn.
Yeah. I think this is one of those things I would talk about even on the TCG stream, that the there's different mindsets to playing the game. Do you want to just go offensive and try and win straight away, or do you want to play a bit more defensive? And I feel like IB Instant Barreto really just decided, I'm going for it.
Yeah, so he doesn't have the win here. It's interesting also, though, because with Breakthrough Skill in the graveyard, he's no longer vulnerable to Photon Strike Bouncer for most of his monster effects. So that's sort of cutting off some of the potential plays in the future, which would be a problem.
Yeah, I think on the real key thing in IB's turn there was that Astral was approving of everything. So that's important.
You know you're doing it right.
Yeah, exactly. Back to Nakasaka's turn. He's got plenty of Gaga Bolts at this point, so he is going to be able to use those to deal with whatever he likes from IB's side of the field.
At this moment,
Check out my set card. I activate a
So
trap.
once again, Gaga's sister's effect activates, but Canadia puts Gaga's sister face down. So
Let's go. I special summon a
we'll
Yeah.
see if there's any follow-up to this.
I'll set
So
the
Nakasaka
card.
is going to
that is the
at least
correct
take some solace in getting that
Attack.
card, getting Canadia back from the graveyard and attacking into his opponent's monster. I feel like that was a heads-up play. You know, he's not feeling.
My turn.
He's not just kind of letting all of this stuff happen. He's really actively thinking, how am I able to get, claw back advantage here from this double Canadia play?
And destroying Gaga coat was valuable there because he was able to prevent an Exceed summon potentially while IB's on top deck.
Stay focused, Yuma.
Don't worry
Drew
about
Mystical
it.
Space Typhoon, he used it. I can't see the card he did. Oh, it looks like Fiendish Chain he destroyed.
Yeah.
So that was not something that could be chained effectively. Oh, and now and then just an attack of M7 over Canadia ends the duel.
Yeah.
1,500 points of damage is more than the amount of life points he had left.
Wall was all
Yeah,
clogged up.
that Fiendish Chain would have been able to stop that attack, but unfortunately, Nakasaka had it destroyed by that Mystical Space Typhoon. Wow, that was quite an interesting mirror match for the Onomata play deck. It's the first time we got to see that. Do you think we learned anything about that mirror match? Kind of who's going first, who's going second, being important. That's usually quite important in a mirror match.
Yeah, I think going first is probably stronger. You can set up your field before your opponent can set their traps. You can always fall back on the M7 play, save resources for the next turn, so you're not behind there. In the right situation, you can opt for Photon Strike Bouncer as a rank 6, but I don't think it's such a significant advantage that it's. I don't think it's that crucial.
Okay, that's good to know. So
Yeah.
we learned something. But
Yeah.
looking back on it in hindsight, of course, it's always easy to look at something in hindsight. But do you think going for the Photon Strike Bouncer was a better play, or do you think the M7 was the right play going first?
I think the M7 was actually the right play because we saw that duel lasted quite a few turns. So he actually, he made use of the monster that he returned to his hand. He didn't need that to continue to press on in the duel. And we saw that his opponent had breakthrough skill and other answers.
Yeah.
Photon Strike Bouncer. So, and I think that's probably why he opted for the M7. It's kind of just the guarantee. All right, I use 2 cards here, add a card back. I basically spent 1 card for a super threatening Xyz monster that he needs to answer, even though it can't negate his monster effects. Because if I use its effect again on my next turn, I'm in even better shape. And you use 2 monsters to make the 2 monsters to Xyz summon M7, but then you can take 1 back with its effect. So I don't think there was anything wrong with the line of play. It just, the cards fell where they did.
Yeah, it's interesting to see. So we have another new legendary duelist.
I'm not the
The
one who's
Nakasaka
gonna take
here.
that mistake. A duelist never gives less than 100%.
Master of
Master
Right.
of Right 2. So we'll start with Ritual.
I'm definitely
Yeah,
in
this
the mood.
does mean that we're gonna,
I knew we'd do
hopefully,
eventually.
with the use of that skill, we're gonna see a ritual deck. I love rituals,
Let's see what
so
you can do. Duel. Here I go. My turn. Here I go. I summon a monster in attack position.
send you of the 1,000 hands.
I activate my
Oh, it's
monster's
most
effect.
certainly a Ritual deck.
Yes, and
In
it
fact, that's any
seems
Ritual monster.
to be it's
I
megaliths.
activate my monster's effect.
But yeah, if you saw it in the app,
Ritual summon a monster.
in the Duel Links app, you can see some of the decks players used to get to this point, and one of them was a Megalith deck. So, may not be a total shock to
I
Ivy.
activate my monster's effect.
Yeah,
Cyber Angel Benton's
sounds
effect
like
activated.
Nakasaka is well known in that case for using ritual decks. Once again, Ben 10 is so strong. Whenever you tribute Cyber Angel Ben 10, you're able to add a level 6 or lower
My monster's effect. I'll play this. I ritual summon a monster.
light fairy. I kept thinking angel in my head. Cyber Angels. You get to add essentially a replacement to your hand.
I use a field spell.
So the megaliths are cool because the low-level ritual monsters, the level 4s, you can use them to ritual summon other monsters and count them in the ritual summon just with their effect on the field. And the higher level ritual monsters are essentially the ritual spell for the deck as well, because you can just discard them from your hand to ritual summon a monster. So it doesn't actually need like a proper ritual spell card, and they all have awesome effects. So this is a deck I was certainly surprised to see in the app when I saw that a duelist used it to get to this point, and a little less surprised to see it here since it was on my radar as a result of that. But it is not a deck that I encountered often in PvP dueling or in other tournaments.
I flip over my face down card. My continuous trap activates. Come on out. I summon a monster in attack position. My monster's effect activates.
Although Nakasaka's field didn't end too kind of strong here, do you think that he's going to be able to deal with what Instabretto is able to bring out with this Harpy deck?
I don't think so, but I guess we'll see.
It does seem like Nakasaka spent quite a lot of cards just making that Diamond Direwolf.
Yeah, I mean, the Harpy's Haunting Ground was a huge problem because, look at his field. I think that if, with all of his cards destroyed, he'd just automatically lose, so he was kind of forced to make Diamond Direwolf.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't know if that setback was too great for him to overcome.
Swoop in, Harpy lady.
Only time's gonna tell.
Ready to battle? Go.
And IB has everything here.
Yeah.
He's got his full field of monsters.
Yeah, so he's gonna be able to use Emergence. Going with Megalith's back. However, he has still got the Cyber Harpy Lady. I'm gonna get the effect there. So it's not totally over, but Ivy is looking pretty kind of in charge here, let's say. And that field spell, the Harpy's Hunting Ground, is just going to come back because of the Oracle. So Nakasaka's not going to have the opportunity to destroy it once again. We do see another Senju.
That could be good.
Yeah. Senju is even stronger in the Megalith deck, because as you were talking about earlier, so Senju can only add ritual monsters, but because the ritual monsters are also the spells, or at least act like the spells, it doesn't, you don't need to match up your Senju or Sonic Bird to what you've got in your hand. Senju always gets you what you want. Yeah, this is where it gets a little bit out of control.
So he's going to ritual summon Ophiel.
Yeah, whenever you ritual summon with the portal, its effect activates and adds back one of your Megalith monsters. So that just refills your hand even more.
Oh, it's Phaleg. When it's ritual summoned all. Oh, and he gets Bethor. So he's going to Ixie summon another rank 4 monster.
See number 18
Oh, heraldry, patriarch. Since there are 2 harpies on the field, he gets to target one of them. All others are destroyed, and as long as that heraldry patriarch's on the field,
How about this?
it can't summon any harpy
Special
ladies.
summon a monster.
Yeah, we're gonna have to see if that's gonna
Monster's effect.
come into play, or whether Nakasaka is gonna be able to just end the game right here.
Will summon a
He's
It
still
looks
got
like
a
he
lot.
actually can end it here.
Yeah,
I-
4,000 attack on the Megalith.
Cyber Angel
Yeah.
Benton's effect.
Phalag is quite a big Megalith.
Yeah. I certainly misjudged the previous turn.
For battle. How's this?
I think that's the
I
thing.
forgot that
with
the
the-
ritual cage was also giving some protection to the monster he summoned with the emergence.
Isn't
Yeah,
over.
So it wasn't able to end it, and I think it's over.
Attacks you directly.
yeah.
Wow.
That was a comeback.
That was a great comeback. Yeah, I definitely misjudged
Can't believe my
his
context
position
didn't
there. His
work.
position was not as
You have to give it your
bad as I
all,
had
from
thought.
building the best deck to making the right
And then
That's- I think that's
given
the
the
thing
one
with
more
the
turn,
With
he
that,
just
I'll take
ended
you
it.
on again.
Yeah, I think that's why Nakasaka clearly put so much effort into getting rid of that Harpy's Hunting Ground, because just keeping all of his continuous spells and traps and the field spell was a bit of a perfect storm to be able to just do whatever he wanted in the following turn.
Absolutely. That was a very impressive showing for the Megaliths.
Yeah.
I'm thinking they might be the sleeper deck of the tournament. I think they might be way more powerful than people are giving them credit for.
Yeah, I mean, we saw it there. As long as you can keep your continuous cards up for just a turn, then yeah, you get a lot of advantage from it. And I mean, Phalag, the Megalith Phalag is huge, 4,000 attack. That's gonna get over anything.
Yeah, it strengthens all your ritual monsters. It becomes stronger for each of the ritual monsters in your graveyard. So it can grow extraordinarily. So and it's kind of like Triamids in that it just has this array of different effects that are kind of tough to play around.
Yeah.
But it also is able to close out a duel way more quickly, unlike Triamids.
Yeah.
Where it can take a fast win. So it is, it's awesome. It's really cool deck, and it was really nice that we were able to see it in action there, doing what it does. And his opponent drew well. It drew well, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still a bit shocked that that was just so powerful. The comeback that was made from that Megalith, and yeah, what you're saying could be right. We only time's going to tell if that's the sleeper deck of the tournament. Okay, so it seems that we are coming towards the end of the first round. We've had quite a few duels already, so we're going to take a short break. But stick around, because we're going to be back with even more action until the end of the KC Grand Tournament. Stick around, we're going to crown a champion.
Awaken the power of the Egyptian God cards. 4 unique cards, plus the new Soul Crossing to add to your deck. Yu-Gi-Oh! Egyptian God decks, Slifer the Sky Dragon, and Obelisk the Tormentor. 40 cards per deck, each deck sold separately.
Muy bien, amigos, creo que va a haber un descanso. Yo hasta aquí la voy a dejar. Pues nada, amiguitos, gracias por los que me siguieron. Y pues si en su país es de noche, pues descansen. Los veo mañana. Que pasen buenas noches y bye.
Its light is clearer than ever before. Synchro Summon! Shooting majestic Star Dragon is here. Yu-Gi-Oh! Dawn of Majesty. 9 cards per pack, each pack sold separately.